Next up, I would like to introduce Elizabeth O'Reilly, Head of Environmental Compliance, We Ireland. We Ireland is Ireland's leading compliance scheme for environmental management of waste electrical and electronic equipment. We Ireland is a not-for-profit private limited company owned by members and operates under the approval of the Minister for the Environment, Community and Local Government. The members are producers at the top of the supply chain for the Irish electrical and electronic equipment and batteries market, including retailers and local authorities. So let's see a video now from We Ireland.
Electrical appliances and technology are woven into the fabric of our lives. From fridge freezers and washing machines to smaller items like cables and watches. The list is extensive, and so is consumption. On average, 12 household electrical products were sold for every person in Ireland last year. We don't want e-waste going to landfills, being illegally dumped or exported, where it creates environmental issues elsewhere. Ensuring this doesn't happen tomorrow starts with managing these products today. We are We Ireland, an industry-funded, not-for-profit EPR scheme that operates authorised take-back and recycling programmes across Ireland. We ensure that waste, electrical and electronic equipment, batteries and lighting are handled safely, securely and sustainably. Our systems divert over 18 million appliances and devices from landfills each year. That's equivalent to more than 1,000 humpback whales. Here's how it works. E-waste is dropped off at our authorised collection sites and then processed by certified Irish recyclers and downstream partners. Modern technologies break down end-of-life appliances and harvest their raw materials. Hazardous substances are responsibly handled to protect the environment and workers' health and safety. New products can be manufactured using recovered materials, creating a sustainable and circular economy. By bringing e-waste to us, you keep it from landfills, being illegally dumped or handled by unauthorised operators. And you help recycle resources, contributing to a more resource-efficient future. Since 2005, we've worked for our industry members, developing a successful, accessible WE system that's been made possible through the recycling efforts of the Irish public and collaboration with key stakeholders.
Thank you. So I think that video has given good context about We Ireland and who we are, but I want to put a little bit more information behind the global e-waste challenge that we're dealing with. So over 56 million tonnes of electrical waste arises every year, and it's increasing. There's no tipping point in sight. The global e-waste challenge happens all around us, but it's also happening in developing countries, global south, who don't have the infrastructure that we have to deal with it. And if you think about every room in your house, if you think about every office in your business, there is electrical appliances and devices doing everything surrounding us in the studio today. And it's also increasing because of the rate of consumption. There's no doubt that technology and digitalization is going to help us be better prepared for climate resilience and adaptation that's so important, but it also creates a huge waste stream. It's the fastest growing waste stream in the world, and it's also one of the most important resources we have. The materials that we need to make new technology and devices are contained in the legacy material that unfortunately is still going to landfill, to some extent here in Ireland, but even more so around the world. So it's a big challenge and it's a complex one, and it's one that we have to work together with. As a scheme, and you saw a bit about us there, as an extended producer responsibility scheme, we have a big part to play. We represent in Ireland over 1,300 producer members. That's manufacturers, importers and distributors onto the Irish economy. But we're part of a much bigger ecosystem of actors. And one of the really positive things about the system in Ireland is that there is huge potential for collaboration and accommodation to our own Department of Environment, Climate and Communication, who have set frameworks for collaboration together. So we're part of the National Waste Advisory Group. We also feed into the WEEE and Battery Monitoring Group. And I think that's an important message for all of the businesses maybe that are watching today. There is opportunities to feed into climate action plans, circular economy plans, work with your trade associations, work with the schemes, and you can have your say. So taking it back again to what we're doing in We Ireland to solve this e-waste challenge, we publish on our website every year the actions of the previous years. And some of these stats are showing here for 2020, obviously a year like no other that we've seen to date. It's been challenging for us to try and achieve the 65% collection rate nationally. You can see we're trending at about 61% take back. That's measured against all of the appliances and devices that go on the market every year. And the reason why it's challenging is because the rate of consumption is increasing. We are buying more and we're using more technology, appliances and devices every year. That said, last year in 2020, despite all of the restrictions, We Ireland and the Irish public recycled more than 38,000 tonnes of electrical waste. That's more than we've ever done before in a single year. And we've done this on behalf, as I said, of the now 1,300 members. We've increased even by another 150 since we last published these statistics. And many of those, obviously, within the Dublin area and here within the Sandyford business, we're working in partnership with so many of that e-waste and WEEE supply chain. And where we're collecting actually electrical appliances is very relevant to this area as well. 30% coming from local authority sites, so that's sites like Ballyogan up the road, but also over 50% coming from retail sites. And that's more than come from retail sections anywhere else in Europe. And we're doing this because the retail network, the retail members in Ireland really came aboard with us in 2005 and have really helped deliver a take-back infrastructure in Ireland, because we don't have the same amount of municipal recycling centres that you see in other parts of Europe. And the 14% coming from our other collection points, well, they're for public collection events that you might see advertised, and thankfully with restrictions lifting, we've been able to roll out more and more of those. So there's a lot of opportunity for take-back and recycling for e-waste in Ireland. And I think something that isn't well known is that a lot of that recycling activity, once we've collected it, takes place here in Ireland. So K&K Metals Recycling operate two big plants for us down in Tullamore in Kilbeggan. They're a family-run business, but operating to some of the highest environmental standards you can get for WEEE, waste electrical equipment, or e-waste as we call it, management. Irish Lamps Recycling, another family-run business working out of Athy, and we're also working then with a network of other social enterprise and collection and hub partners to take back and collect. And we have pilot programs running ongoing with companies like WiseTech. So this activity is happening here in Ireland. I think that's a message I really want to get across today, that supporting local and recycling and the national WEEE system is really, really important. Thank you. So when we collect e-waste and it goes through those recycling facilities, what we're seeing is a really complex process to break it back down into its fractional parts and ensure that we can use that material again in manufacturing, that urban mining. And we have targets to achieve, and we've really complex reporting structures that we have to put through, and we report those onto the Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Environment. You can't just put e-waste through a large shredder and call that recycling. It has to go through multifaceted and complex processes. Fridge freezers have to be managed differently, for example, to maybe small, more plastic-containing WEEE. And we have to achieve those targets and report on them on a yearly basis, and we have to audit and review the processes for them. And again, they're all reported in our annual report, similarly with batteries. So the lead acid material, the nickel cadmium, the lithium ions that are powering so many of our e-mobility and our energy storage systems now and into the future all need to go through complex processes to bring that material back for use again. And the environmental footprint to do so, to measure that and to acknowledge what that's delivering is also equally important. Because of what we diverted from landfill last year, over 200,000 tonnes of CO2 emission equivalent was saved by the system. And that means that that material can be used again, it saves on raw material extraction, and it means that there is those resources for use again in manufacturing. So we're hoping that many of you have seen some of our active campaigns that are out there at the moment, encouraging people to recycle more. We're asking people to follow your lead, look around your house and find the old and broken appliances that are maybe under the stairs in the garden shed, or I know in my case, batteries and small appliances in that drawer in the kitchen that really could do with a clear out this side of Christmas. And we're asking you to bring that to your local recycling centre, to your local electrical retailer, or a collection event where it's running near you, and make sure that it's put into the authorised system that I've just described. We're reminding people not to put things into the bin. That's not the place for e-waste. We can't recover those resources if that's where they're put, and allow us to use those materials for use again in manufacturing. Battery recycling is free and recycling is free. You can bring back to your local participating electrical retailer, whether it's up in Carrickmines or Dundrum or Stillorgan when we're talking to local businesses, and you can recycle for free. If you're dealing with professional or commercial equipment, then talk to your supplier. They should have a system in place to take back from you. Batteries, we hope you can see all our battery boxes out there. They should be in shops and businesses and collection points near you. And that's where we hope when you are clearing out that drawer in the kitchen, you're putting those batteries in. Moving beyond recycling and recovery, though, I think to maximise the opportunity of a circular economy is something that we've been doing a huge amount of work on over the last 18 months. New rules for extended producer responsibility schemes are part of the Waste Action Plan for a Circular Economy that was published by the Department of Environment last year, and very much talks about capitalising on the success of schemes like ourselves in take-back collection and recycling, and how we can do more in terms of repair, reuse and other aspects further up the waste hierarchy. So, a circular economy, there's loads of definitions and there's a lot of discussion about it, but really it's about a more old-fashioned term. It's about waste not, want not, but with more sustainable production and consumption methods in place. And extended producer responsibility, while we know we're part of an all-actors approach, we know that we have the opportunity to lead in this regard. So with that in mind, a few months ago, we presented to our own members on our circular ambition and circular vision, a new strategy for the scheme for the next 5 years of operation. And we want to lead the electrical and battery industry in Ireland into a more circular economy. And we want to do this. We know the mandate is there under the European Circular Economy Waste Legislative Package and that action plan for a circular economy, and our own scheme approval, which will be another 5-year term up until 2027. And we really believe that we can implement a more sustainable model, even more so than what we've been doing since 2005, building on our success to date. So recycling and recovery are listed there under when you look at the waste hierarchy of activity. And as we said, it's still a complex process and there's a lot of potential for us to urban mine that material back for use again. But looking at repurposing and remanufacturing and rethinking how we handle e-waste is what we need to do more of in the coming years. So just 2 examples of projects that we have active on that in the moment. We're working with the White Goods Association and the Repair My Stuff platform, which is a joint local authority and EPA run initiative to promote the role of repair and to make sure people know where they can access repair agents for appliances in their community. And what we're doing with the White Goods Association is listing their authorised repair members. So if you have a particular brand, if your washing machine goes, hopefully not this side of Christmas, but rather than thinking about, do I have to buy new, can I repair, who can repair it for me and how I can access it. So repairmystuff.ie I think is my first shout out in that regard. The other programme that we're working with is Circulera, which is Ireland's industry platform for a circular economy under the IMOR partnership. And we won 2 lots of innovation funding from them in 2020 to develop projects with the WEEE sector. The first one is working again with the White Goods Association and Fast Track into Technology, and again building on the repair work that we had done previously. And we know that without more repair agents, without more repair engineers, we can't reuse and we can't build on those activities further up the waste hierarchy. So tomorrow morning, 16 new trainees are starting in a facility out in Dunshaughlin as the result of 6 months of work with the sector, and they are going to be training into new repair technicians of the future for the next 16 to 24 weeks, I think, and then they are going to be doing industry placement with manufacturers here in Ireland in the first first course of this time, and we're really, really pleased with this initiative, and a big shout out to the industry for the support they've put in place for it. And we also have a programme running down in KMK Metals looking at lithium-ion batteries at end of life and seeing what is the potential for reuse and management of those, because it's a lot of expense and it's a lot of challenges to get lithium-ion batteries when the waste are damaged off this island and for management downstream. So again, looking at where the bottlenecks are towards a more circular economy and how we can put those solutions in place here in Ireland. So before I finish up, I'm going to give out a quick call to action and a wee request. So I'm asking you to maybe look at those campaigns that we talked about a few slides ago and see if you can find old and broken appliances when you're doing a bit of a clear out of the office or of home in the next couple of weeks, and make sure to bring them to an authorised collection point near you. You'll find the list of everywhere you can recycle locally on weaireland.ie. The details are there, and we'll share them with the business district for sharing up on their website as well. And there's information there if you're dealing with professional and commercial appliances and devices and what to do. But I think rather than just talking to the waste managers, I'd like to talk to the procurement officers as well. So before you buy, talk to your suppliers about their take-back streams. Talk about their own refurbishment and their reuse. Talk about sharing economy opportunities. I really think procurement is going to be one of the ways that we're going to be able to deliver a more circular economy going forward. And then my final shout out is to please support one other campaign, our Small Things Matter programme. We support the Laura Lynn, Ireland's Children's Hospice charity, through recycling of batteries through our Blue Box programme. So if you're putting batteries into the Blue Box, we're making a donation on your behalf every year to that charity. And there's hundreds of thousands of euro we've been able to supply to them and contribute to the charity since 2011. So I'm going to finish on that point. Who better than our recycling ambassador, Bosco, to remind you of that and ask everybody to get involved. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth O'Reilly. We're hearing a lot about the circular economy today and yesterday.